I mean, the guy that supposedly created it, named Fury, he lives here in town. He told the Daily Dot and a bunch of other stuff, use it. It's open, free to use, everything. He sues people if they put it on their website. So we get some art we sell at Infowars.com. A guy goes, I made this poster of symbols of the 2016 election. The frog's like a little bitty thing up here in the corner. He's saying we can't paint that and sell it. Now, they wanted to settle for nothing. They just wanted to say, oh, I settled. BS. I've spent 10 times what they wanted to settle for fighting them, and I'll keep fighting them because I fight every damn one of these BS things. They just saw all the...
Sorry, it fired me.
I got sued over a year and a half ago over this. They just saw the attention the last deposition got. So they saw this and released this to just,
Now, is this the gay frog that you were talking about?
No, this is not the atrazine gay frogs. By the way, you pull up major universities, folks, and I'm not against gay people. The point is that atrazine artificially demasculates men, it over-feminizes women, and causes cancer.
And where is that found? Where's the whatever you're saying?
Atrazine is basically in all of our tap water. It's in everything. We're just inundated in it.
So you believe
Don't believe me. Don't believe me. I was covering like 10 years ago a Berkeley study and then a South African study and a UT study going, wow, look, almost all the frogs don't now want females. They want to have sex with males who don't produce eggs, so that frogs are dying. And I said, it's making the frickin' frogs gay.
Well, hold on a second.
And now what? And then they go, sorry.
And then you get sued by a frog.
No, I want to say
And
this.
now I'm sued by a frog.
To your point, and this is what I fucking hoped would happen. I hope you would come on the show and we would find solid ground to stand on together, because we just talked about a study a couple weeks ago where male sexual activity was down.
Hold on a second. Apples and oranges, guy. What are you saying?
That's just Netflix.
What are you, Netflix and Fortnite? Man, what are you saying?
But still, we're
he's
not
saying the government puts chemicals in water that is turning people more feminine? Is that?
Well, here's the deal.
And with that,
there's a lot of plastics you can produce that don't have bisphenol A that's similar to atrazine.
Yep.
You notice, like, if you go to Target or wherever now, all the stuff's glass because mom's figured it out. Most plastics leach, but you can do a different process that it costs the same amount of money. They chose a plastic to be the unified standard in the West that causes breast cancer, that causes sterility.
What's it called?
Bisphenol A.
Okay.
BPA.
I have a
type in atrazine and frogs. You'll get German, Japanese, U.S. universities.
I have a more basic question, but I'm curious.
Basic ass.
Just for people who might like not really be into all this information, like who and why would people come after us as just people living life to attack us or to harm us or to put products in our lives that are killing us?
This equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, reproductive health services.
That's a great question. Why did Hitler do what he did?
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I'm serious here.
So he could take over the world.
There's people that want power. And here's the deal. If you can control humanity, there's no more wars. So the Carnegie Endowment, via the British Royal Institute of International Affairs, developed a plan in the 1860s, and then Carnegie got set up in the early 1900s to end war as we know it. But the answer is end men and women as we know it, end human competition as we know it. So it's an official world government plan to end the family, end humanity. Brave New World is not a fiction book. Huxley even wrote another book about how it wasn't fiction. He wrote it in 1932, how it was a total plan for what they're now doing. And so they call it the post-human era. They call it the end of the future. They call it.
Is this what leads to breakaway civilizations as well?
Full spectrum dominance.
Yeah.
So full spectrum dominance doesn't just mean land,
What
sea,
is
and
that?
air.
What is that?
If you can induce humans into an artificial system and then take control of the whole human biology and make it a corporate thing, you have now dominated civilization. You don't dominate people with tanks and armies and weapons. You seduce them into giving up their basic humanity, their rites of passage and everything so that you can be the god. It's like that famous photo of Zuckerberg walking a few years ago with all his employees wearing VR, but he's not. He's bipedal.